I'm back. Road Rants for Black and White on Pop Culture. Make sure you hit subscribe for future Star Wars content, among other kinds of content. The Mandalorian, Chapter 13, The Jedi. This is an episode we have long since awaited because there's so much that happened in this episode. So much that ties into the story. So much that ties into the Clone Wars, so much that ties into Rebels, and it's clear Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni absolutely, positively know what they're doing when it comes to Star Wars. There has been no more of a glaring example of the fact that those two should have full leadership duties at Lucasfilm than this episode. It starts on a very dark planet. And the episode in general is dark because that's the setting of the planet. We see some soldiers, mercenary-looking guys out there. They're guards to a magistrate, okay, over a city. And she has, they're citizens of the city, but really they're prisoners. The whole city is prisoners. And we see Michael Biehn. I didn't even realize. I've seen this episode twice. When I watched it the first time, I didn't recognize him. I was like, are you kidding? The only reason I knew it was him is because when it popped up at the end, it says order of appearance. It said Michael Biehn. I was like, whoa, what? The legendary Hicks from Aliens, the legendary Kyle Reese from The Terminator. One of my favorite actors, and I didn't even recognize him initially. And when I went back and watched again, immediately I was like, "Oh my God, yeah!" But I was like, "How did I not?" And that's Father Time, folks. He's probably 65, 68 years old now. It's amazing what age does to us. But he's legendary. He's a great actor, and such a legend in genre films, right? We start this episode in the dark. We see guards and soldiers outside of this large wall of the city, and they've got their guns raised. And then we see the two white lightsabers light up, and you're like, oh, wow, here we go. And we are introduced, we finally, in live action, we have Ahsoka Tano, Rosario Dawson, and Ahsoka Tano. Rosario Dawson looks phenomenal as Ahsoka. They knocked it out of the park. I mean, perfect. I'm a big Rosario Dawson fan. She's a huge Star Wars fan, and every time I see her, it pulls at my Kevin Smith strings. A lot of people hate the fact that I like Kevin Smith. Look, Clerks 2. I love those movies. Okay, I love all those old movies, and she has that tie to Kevin Smith and that universe. And because of that, I've watched everything that she's been in, and I like most of it. I was so happy with this casting because I know she's so happy. She's so into Star Wars. Okay, she's kind of a nerd girl, and that's awesome. And of course, the social justice warriors are pissed because of some miscellaneous incident that I think they've blown way out of proportion. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. She looks phenomenal. I've got to recognize the theme, the music in this episode is unbelievable. It is great. The scenery, the way they've got this planet laid out, in conjunction with her showing her white lightsabers, it just works. It works. It absolutely, it will knock your damn socks off. This immediately is among the top probably 3 episodes of The Mandalorian for me ever. It might be number 1. I've seen it twice. I can't confirm or deny that yet. I've got to see it a couple more times. But we learn a lot in this episode. We know Din Djarin is trying to get Baby Yoda. Din Djarin is trying to get Grogu. Oh, a name. Baby Yoda's got a name. Grogu. Yes, that's his name. We get backstory on Baby Yoda from Ahsoka Tano. And he was trained at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Immediately. Wow. Phenomenal tie-in there to the Clone Wars and to the prequels and to the fact that immediately we have a character that has gotten some training. We now have 2 characters that we know have gotten a significant amount of training. And the Mandalorian gets to this magistrate and she says, well, I need you to kill a Jedi. And he's thinking, well, I'm looking for a Jedi, so I'm going to go along with this and see what happens. Ahsoka Tano has told the magistrate, you've got 1 day to free these people. Plus, she's trying to get a piece of information from the magistrate that will drop a damn bomb on you later. This episode is so good. And, of course, we have a very small, brief confrontation between the Mandalorian and Ahsoka, which is really cool. Mandalorian wraps that cable around her. She does a young flip, and he's lifted up in the air over a tree. He throws that flamethrower out. It's really cool. Brief, but cool. And she notices Grogu, and she tells the Mandalorian, he's like, that's his name. And she's like, yeah, that's where we get the Coruscant Jedi Temple, Jedi training aspect. And she's sitting on a log. She's talking to Baby Yoda. I'm probably still going to call him Baby Yoda for a while, out of habit. Grogu. I'm going to have to get used to that. And they're mentally conversating with each other through the Force. She name drops to Din Djarin Yoda. And when she does, Yoda's theme comes through. And I'm not going to bullshit you. I got emotional. I got a little emotional. I felt the Empire Strikes Back come back. Dagobah. And I was like, this is why Star Wars is so phenomenal. This is why it took the world by storm. It's because of the emotion that Star Wars can pull out of you. And it pulled it out of me. A lot of it's always had to do with the music. Because if it's timed just right in Star Wars, it can make everything so much more emotional. And we hear that little Yoda theme creep through from Empire that we've heard prior, Return of the Jedi, when she name drops Yoda. And, man, I was like, oh okay. 5 years old, 6 years old, all over again. And Dave Filoni did a great job. Dave Filoni did such a good job here. Of course, Ahsoka is his character. He knows Ahsoka better than anybody else. Okay, but overall, he's doing a great job with all characters. The Mandalorian, Grogu, okay? And so they're having a talk. She's like, they decide that they're going to go back to this city, and they're going to try to free these people, and Ahsoka needs a piece of information. Well, she says, I'm not training Baby Yoda. And he's like, wait, what? You're not taking him? Blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no. She was like, she sensed much fear in him. Now, he's seen the Jedi, right? Massacred. And she says, she's seen what fear becomes. So right there's another emotional connection to Anakin Skywalker, who would become Darth Vader, who was, of course, her mentor. And that was emotional. And it was like, oh, God. What are you doing to me at 3 a.m. in the morning Central Time? You're killing me here. So good. So damn awesome. Now, we'll get around. Well, I'll just say it now. She tells him you need to, and this is towards the end, you need to go to this other planet where there's a Jedi temple. And she said that if the Force, I guess so chooses, it will allow him, and I wonder what we're going to see at this Jedi temple. What are we going to see, right? What are we going to see in terms of the dark side, in terms of the light side? Could Ezra Bridger be there? You know, that's interesting, but she's looking for Ezra, okay? So I don't think Ezra would be there, but, you know, it said it would put out a call for Jedis to come find Grogu. She said there's not many Jedi left. Guys, I think we're seeing Luke. We're going to see Luke Skywalker in this series. And it's going to be unbelievable when it happens. But they're setting it up. They're setting up another Jedi. And look, Ezra's not a Jedi yet. There's only one Jedi that we can think of outside of Ahsoka, and that's Luke. They're setting us up for what I can only assume will be Mark Hamill de-aged to Luke Skywalker. That's the way I believe this is headed. So that's going to be phenomenal. It's got to be where we're going with that line of thinking, or with that setup. Okay, I can't think who else is gonna answer that call. Okay, so phenomenal. So they have a confrontation. She gets in versus the magistrate, and the magistrate somewhat went toe to toe with Ahsoka, which was strange. You're like, are you that much of a trained fighter that you can actually knock a lightsaber away from Ahsoka Tano? Okay, I understand. They have to. There are certain liberties that have to be made there in order to have some sort of a final confrontation in terms of television movie, drama. Okay, so I can sort of let that go. It wasn't like she got this huge advantage over Ahsoka. She was using a Beskar staff, which was what she offered up to the Mandalorian to go kill Ahsoka. And he was like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. Knowing all along, he just really wanted to get to Ahsoka because of Grogu. And they have this confrontation, and when Ahsoka gets the advantage on her and basically ends the fight, she drops a name. She says, tell me, where is Grand Admiral Thrawn? Mic drop moment. Here we go. Here's that other tie-in we've been looking for. We've talked about the Mandalorian's going to tie into Rebels. It's going to tie into Clone Wars. And this is it. This is the tie-in. This is setting it up. Whether it's setting up the live-action Ahsoka show where Thrawn is going to be the main antagonist, we don't know. We don't know how that's going to go. We know there's rumors of a live-action Rebels sequel coming. There's rumors of a animated sequel to Rebels coming that will follow Thrawn and Ezra, Sabine, etc., etc. But there it is. It's official. Thrawn is a thing in The Mandalorian, without a doubt. So, look at so many rumors that when Road Rants on Star Wars was still a thing, we got a hell of a lot of rumors right, or leaks right. Okay, so there we go. We got things that's taking shape now that we were talking about a year ago on my other channel before the content switched over. So look, phenomenal episode, phenomenal. The Mandalorian, Michael Baine's sort of like a bounty hunter, gunslinger character, do have a final confrontation. This episode had a ton of, where we've seen the big influence of the Western so much in this, we see the big influence of the martial arts film in this, the samurai film. Very reminiscent of some old samurai films in several different places. Almost had like a Last Samurai feel in a couple of places. The Mandalorian and Michael Baine's character have a confrontation, and it's not much of one. It's they're having a Western drawdown, and of course the Mandalorian wins that, shoots him down. So phenomenal episode. Fuck it. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Fuck it. Why not? 10 out of 10. I think there's only been maybe 2 other episodes that got a 10 out of 10 out of me. I've been trying to be more critical, but Rosario Dawson looks phenomenal as Ahsoka. She portrayed Ahsoka, I mean, spot on. It makes me pissed off at Lucasfilm as to what could have been with Star Wars this entire time. The Mandalorian is just further exposed Lucasfilm's failures when it comes to that sequel trilogy. This is what could have been. The last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars is what could have been. There were spots in Rebels that were phenomenal. What could have been with this Star Wars product. Unbelievable. Such a good episode. I believe Luke is coming. I think that's a thing. Rosvin's been talking about it. We've talked about it on the channel a lot, that we think we will see Luke at some point. Well, I think we got that. We got that set up here with him going to a Jedi temple that's supposed to have a call out to other Jedis, okay, like a signal, whatever, a beacon, so they can find Grogu. We got all this different information today. Baby Yoda's got a backstory, essentially. He's got a name. And what is Lucasfilm waiting on with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni? What are they waiting on? These are the 2 gentlemen that should be over Lucasfilm. It's not even debatable. It's not something you can even... I don't care what side of the fandom you're on. If you can't see that, you're ignorant. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the best, far and away the best Star Wars we've gotten under Disney's reign. Tell me what you think, Black and White on Pop Culture Fans. Make sure you hit subscribe. Really good episode. Jesus. Historically great episode for The Mandalorian. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.